Welcome back to our new video. Now we starting daily series. That's the day 5.
Let's not be too harsh. You wouldn't be harebrained about cookies if you knew what they were built for. So let's first buckle down and learn how browser-server interaction works, so you could get a hang of what cookies are. Now, Hypertext Transfer Protocol, abbreviated as HTTP, is a set of rules that help a browser and a server talk to each other. It is this protocol or set of rules that helps in transfer of hypermedia on the web. Hypermedia basically constitutes your web page. When you type the URL of a website in your browser's address bar and press enter, you are essentially requesting the server of the corresponding website to deliver the website's homepage to your browser. Now, this interaction that you have with the server via your browser is called a request. The same applies when you click on links on the website. Let's say you click the login option. You're requesting the server to serve you the website's login page. So this is what the request would look like. Note that the request asks the server to get the login page of the website. This is called a GET request. Correspondingly, the act of the server delivering the login page of the website to your browser is called a response. Note that the server responds with an OK and delivers the login page. The internet and HTTP were initially created to share documents. That's all there was to the internet. They were not designed to operate the way it does today. There was no need for the server to know or remember who you are. Now, if HTTP were to be used like this today, applications would make our internet lives frustrating. So imagine this. You click sign in on, let's say, an imaginary website called ecommerceweb.com via your browser. Now, ecommerceweb.com server responds with a sign-in page. You type in your credentials and click sign in. ecommerceweb.com server responds with the home page. So you click on the orders option to check your order history, but ecommerceweb.com server responds with a sign-in page. You see, the server is unable to remember who you are. For every personalized request you make, it would ask for your credentials. So this is why cookies were created in the first place, to help websites remember you and your preferences. In technical terms, cookies help in state persistence. So how does this work? So let's imagine John is signing in to ecommerceweb.com for the first time. John types in his credentials and clicks sign in. ecommerceweb.com server responds with the home page. Now note that the server adds a set cookie header. The server is assigning John a cookie by the name session ID and value 456485. John clicks on the orders option to check his order history. Now note the cookie header in the request. Once a cookie is set by the server in the first response, the browser will add the cookie header with the name and value in every subsequent request John makes. So this cookie session ID 456485 assigned to John is an identification. The server will now remember John as session ID 456485 on every subsequent request. This is because the server sets a file in its disk corresponding to the cookie set for John. So when John clicks the orders link after signing in, the server checks for the file corresponding to the cookie it received from John's browser, recognizes it is John, and responds with John's order history page. So this is how a state is persisted. This is how ecommerceweb.com remembers John. So defining what a cookie is would make more sense now. So cookies are basically small pieces of information or data that a website or web server sends to your browser via the set cookie header, so it can be stored in your computer's hard disk. And the next time you make a request on the same website, your browser sends the cookie via the cookie header along with the request so the website can identify you. Cookies can be broadly classified as first-party and third-party cookies. In the previous example, session ID 456485 was set by ecommerceweb.com for John. This is a cookie set by the same website John is currently or directly browsing. Hence, it is called a first-party cookie. But what if ecommerceweb.com had ads on their web page? These ads, though seen on ecommerceweb.com, are being served through another server, let's say ads.com. So when John visits ecommerceweb.com for the first time, the ads.com server serving the banner ad could set a cookie for John. Now, this is a cookie set by another website John is not directly browsing. He's on ecommerceweb.com. The cookie set by the ad server is a third party cookie. While there are many different ways companies use to track you online, third party cookies are an important tool with which they can achieve the same. Remember, first party cookies are needed for the web to function well, whereas user tracking for targeted ad serving purposes is achieved with third party cookies. Cookies and HTTP state management is a huge topic to discuss, and I have not covered everything related to this topic. You could get into the technical nitty-gritty details with RFC 6265, HTTP State Management Mechanism. It's a great read. Using HTTP cookies in MDN web docs is also well worth reading.
So that's the cookie we study yesterday. And now today there is a difference between cookie local storage and session storage. So there is some features access on client or server side cookies. Both server side and client side, the set cookies HTTP response header is used by server intro in order to send it to user. Local storage client side only. Session storage client side only. Okay, and it expired manually configure using expiring option. Local storage forever until delete. Okay, or session storage until tab is closed. SSL supported, not supported. Okay, maximum data size 4 KB, 5 MB. Okay, accessible from any window. Okay, send with request. Yes, no. Okay, okay. It means there is no accessing request to do for that. Okay. What is the main difference between local storage and session storage? Local storage is the same as sessional storage, but it persists the data even when the browser is closed and response. That is, it has no expiration time. Whether in session storage, data get cleared when the page session ends. Okay, that's the thing. Uh, yeah, local storage and session storage. Okay, after that, how do you access web storage? The window operate object implement the window local storage and window session storage. Object which has local storage, window.local storage and session storage. Window.session storage property responsive respectively. This property creates an instance of the storage object through which data item can be set, relatives and removed for a specific domain and storage type, session or local. For example, you can read and write of local storage object as below. There is a local storage dot set time and logo comma document dot get elements by id. Okay, logo dot value. Okay, by using that you can define a or we can access web storage. Okay, what are the method available on session storage? The session storage provide some method session storage dot okay, that's the thing. Data, yeah. After that, what is a storage event and its event handle? The storage event is an event that fire when a storage area has been changed in the context or another documents. Whether as on storage property is an event handling or processing storage event. The syntax would be as below. Okay, there is a window dot on storage equal to function reference. Let's take an example. Okay, there is one window dot window dot on storage function e console dot log. The e key. Yes. Okay. Why do you need web storage? Web storage is more secure and large amount of data can be stored locally without affecting website performance. Also, the information is never transferred to the server. Hence, this is a more recommended approach than cookies. Okay, web storage. How do you check web storage browser support? Okay, if type of storage undefined, else sorry. Okay, there is a condition if else condition. It used to show or to check the web browser is support or not. Yeah. How do you check web worker browser support? Uh, okay, same are both used in that, but yeah. After that, example of web worker. Let I equal to 0 function timeout. Okay, I equal to I plus 1, or there is create a worker. Okay, there is what are the restriction of web worker on DOM. Web worker don't have access to below JavaScript object since they are defined in an external file, Windows document and parent object. There is three type of objects web worker on DOM. Restriction. Okay. What is promise? Yeah, it is very much in many time he used that. What is promise? A promise is an object that may product a single value sometime in the future where either a resolved value or a reason that it's not resolved. For example, network error. It will be in one of the three possible state: fulfilled, reject, or pending. Okay, the const promise equal to new promise function resolve or reject. There is some function it defined as const promise new promise resolve the set amount. Okay, there is some chat to show promise if they fulfill their criteria, then after it goes dot then on fulfillment. After that it go with two types. If there is one is async action, or we after that we if there is not, then it returns promise. Okay, after that you can use dot then or dot catch. But if starting from promise it rejected, then then on rejection it use. And there is also two condition: return or error handling. Why do you need a promise? A promise are used to handle asynchronous operator. They provide an alternative approach for callback by reducing the callback hell and return the cleaner code. Okay. What are the three state of promise? Pending, fulfilled, reject. Pending. This is an initial stage of promise before an operation begins. Fulfill. The statement indicates that specified operator has complete. Rejection. This state indicates that the operation did not complete. In this case, an error value will be no, will be a true. Okay, what is callback? That also callback function is a function passed into another function as an argument. This function is evolved inside the outer function to complete an action. Let's take a simple example of how to use callback function. Yeah, okay, callback. There is a name, function name. Okay, after that we can see why do you need callback. The callback are needed because JavaScript is an event driver language. That means instead of waiting for a response, JavaScript will keep executing while listening for other events. Let's take an example with the first function invoking an API call. Simulates by set timeout, and the next function which logs the message. And as observed from the output, JavaScript didn't wait for the response of function, and the remaining code block got executed. So callback are used in a way to explain to make sure that certain code doesn't execute until the other code finish execution. And what is callback hell? Callback hell is an anti-pattern with multiple nested callback which make a code hard to read and debug when delivering an asynchronous logic. The callback hell good like okay, async 1, 2, 3, 4 and okay, it's very challenging or confusing. That's the thing. Okay, what are server send event? Server sent events is a server push technology enabling a browser to receive automatic update from a server by HTTP connection without resorting to pooling. These are a one-way communication channel. Event flow from server to client only. This has been used in Facebook, Twitter updates, stock price update, news feed, etc. Server sent event. Okay. How do you receive server sent event notification? The event source ob- object is used to receive server sent event notification. Acha. It gets and notified to server sent event. Okay. How do you check browser support for server sent event? It has check by using if else statement. And what are the event available for server sent event? Event are on open, on message, on error. On open, it used when a connection to the server is open. On message, this event is used when a message is received. On error, it happens when an error occurs. Okay.